Hello and welcome to Dialogues Q&A. To tell our viewers, in Dialogues Q&A, we invite queries from our members and get an expert on board to answer them for you. Today, our focus is on funding, and the expert on board is Ashish Sharma, the managing partner of Innovent Capital. That's Asia's leading venture debt firm with offices in India, China, and Singapore. Welcome, Ashish. Pleasure to have you on board, and we'll dive straight into the questions.
Yeah, glad to be here, Bushra.
The first question that a member has sent us is, what percent equity should one dilute that is healthy for the company?
See, there are certain rules of thumb with respect to equity dilution. There is no right or wrong answer, but I would say a standard construct is to dilute anything between 15 to 20% in every round. Now, again, depending on the situation where the company is, you could dilute a little lesser or a little more, but 15 to 20% is considered healthy. And I'll just give an example, right? So typically, let's assume you do a seed round, $1 million round at $5 million valuation. You're down to, the founders are down to 70%, investors hold 20%, and I have assumed 10% for ESOP pool. Now you come to Series A, let's say you raise $5 million at 25 million valuation. So there's an additional 20% dilution. And by the time you get to Series B, let's assume you raise 20 million at 80 million valuation. If you do the whole math between all the dilution and the ESOPs by Series B in this situation, the founders would be down to 45% by Series B. So assuming there is a 3-member, founding team, they'll be down to 15% each by Series B, which is a fairly standard kind of a construct. Any more dilution or at a very low down round or a flat round, that obviously can change the figures, but 15 to 20% dilution at each round is considered fairly standard.
Thanks, Ashish. Moving on to the next question a member has sent us. We are raising our seed round. We have previously raised an angel round and bootstrapped the company. MVP and POC stages have been completed. How to go about it?
See, again, here, this is a very standard question for a lot of founders, saying, how do I raise money? I don't have connects, etc. See, one thing to keep in mind is, while founders are working hard to raise capital, on the other side, investors are working hard to find the right opportunities to raise capital, because see, the only work they have is to put money to work, hopefully in good opportunities where they can drive returns over time. So the best way to go about, after your angel round, is to look at all the available kind of investor and platforms that are out there. So I'll put them in 3 buckets. I think one is definitely there are some well-established platforms like, AngelList, Let's Venture, and there are hundreds of investors who are running syndicates here. So I think you should reach out to them, do a little bit homework, and understand what kind of focus areas do they have. So that's one source. The other bucket would be there are specialized seed investors and seed funds. So these funds would be writing checks of anything between 250K to 500K. So that's roughly let's call it 1.5 crores to 4 crores. So you need to find a lead from them. The third option is doing, let's call it a little larger, kind of an angel round where you are able to get in some prominent angels in India today. There are thousands of angels. Now here, the trick always is to, actually have some good names, people who are either founders or investors or domain experts or CXOs that do hold some credibility. Because once you are able to at least get some of those people on board, through their references as well as through the credibility they have, it's much easier to close a round. So there are, hundreds of investors out there. As a founder, I would urge, you do the research, read about who they are, what kind of companies do focus on, what kind of sectors they look at, try to find a warm lead, because, they're getting hundreds and hundreds of people reaching out to them. So anytime you can get a warm lead from a founder who they have invested in, an investor, they know, I think your hit rate, your batting average will be much higher, where they get, at least you get a call to kind of discuss your startup. So, I mean, ultimately, in a startup, you require hustle, and the same is true for when you're trying to raise investors and reaching out in front of the right people.
Thanks, Ashish. But we have more queries coming in, so we will continue this Q&A next week.